Okay, so here we are. I've done all of my little walls. Pro tip, this little bit is the round wall tool, right? So just a little quick, mine is hiding right there under the wall tool, round wall. I chose this 3-point option to get that little curvy bit. So have fun with that if you feel like it. It is an optional step. But in any case, the rest of my walls are now all connected, going all the way around. And my next step is to add in some doors. And to do doors, I'm going to use the door tool. It's right here. We have a custom def as our, I don't know why, so I'm gonna just get a really default door. Yeah, no, we have a default door. It's okay. Everything's okay, you guys. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so my first door, we're just gonna drop it in here at the end of this wall, and then we'll tweak it into place, okay? So I'm just kind of randomly dropping it in. When the wall I'm putting it in is highlighted in red, then I know it's inserting that door into that wall. And then once I click the first time, it places it in the wall, and then I can move my mouse around. You're seeing as I move my mouse, it moves the door flap. And so I will now move my mouse until it fits in the way we would want it to, right? So there it is. There's our first door. You'll notice as you look at it that it is shifted right in the center of that wall, and it looks like the one that is drafted in this ground plan is actually kind of shifted off so that the door flap sits outside. The width is correct, but it's offset a little bit, and that is something we can change in the object info, okay? So if you scroll down in the object info, you'll find this offset in wall. Let's see what happens if I make it 2 inches. Awfully close, right? 2.25, right? And that places that door along that outside edge, okay? So that offset in wall tool will move your door to the appropriate part of the wall. The other thing that I would like to see when I have a door inserted like this is I want to see those dashed lines over the wall, okay? And to get those, I'm actually going into settings. So when you open up the door settings, the very bottom of this window is cut off on my recording. I know that, but all that I'm seeing down at the bottom is the OK button. So I think we'll be all right. There are a whole bunch of settings that you can configure on your door. So if you're working with a sliding door, it has specific things, right? If you're in the general section, you can choose the top shape if it's a rounded top instead of a square top. Offset in wall is in this section as well. The configuration, these are all different kinds of doors that you could have. The operation, so this is if you have a door that is closed on one side and open on the other side, or has a block in the center, right? All of these are various options, right? A double door, which we'll get to in a second. We're just using a single door at this time. The size width references the leaf size, which is the flappy part, the door, the physical door itself. And those are your standard width and height. And then you can basically choose any of these other settings. Feel free to play with this whole list. You can add stuff like trim. So if there's molding around that door, you can very easily add that interior trim, right, etc., etc. And you can do configurations specifically for the second leaf if there are 2 doors, right? All of these things. We're going to go into 2D visualization, which is the plan view, right? So we've talked a little bit about how there's like a top plan view, and then there's a top 3D view. The top plan view is specifically in the drafting, and this is where we're going to put in those dashed lines, right, that show where the ceiling would be overhead. So I'm going to come in here and check this draw wall lines button. That's going to input the lines in. And then I'm going to set the attributes by line style. What that lets me do is then control the wall lines here and change that to a dashed line, right? I'm going to use this ISO 2 dashed. We'll see how that looks, all right? So that is going to give you some dashed wall lines. When I say okay, I come back out and now you can see that that wall overhead break is now a dashed line. We are not seeing it on the other side because of the placement of the deck, right? Because we didn't extend the deck out underneath that wall. If we wanted to adjust it, that's pretty easy to do. So why don't we go ahead and update it so that the floor goes all the way out to the outside edge of the wall? No, better idea. We're just gonna turn off the line on the floor. So I'm gonna come in here to attributes. So I've selected this floor and I'm going to change it from a solid to no line on the floor itself. Which is a problem over here where it becomes invisible, but it is nice for us out here over this door, okay? Maybe I would just draw a line for this front lip edge. That would work. That would work. Let's do that. And then I'm going to grab my polyline tool, which is, I guess, yeah. And I'm just gonna trace that front edge again. Right, make that none. So now I'll still have that line in that top view, but I will not see it through that door opening. Okay. Let's look at this next one, right? So this next door is a little different than our first one because it's much, much wider. So I'm gonna actually grab a quick measurement on this door. 8 feet wide is our total width, okay? So let's go ahead and drop in this new door. I'm gonna start by snapping right into the center and flipping it so that it's kind of in the right space. But the first thing we'll do here on the width is change that to 8 feet, okay? So now it's an 8-foot wide door, but it's only a single swing and we actually want it to be a double door, right? We can do the same little maneuver we did before and change the offset in the wall to 2.5 inches or 2.25 inches. And that'll shift it up there to the edge of the wall. And then we'll come into settings and adjust those 2D door visualization. So I draw my wall lines and I change it to line style and I change my wall line to a dashed line, okay? Let's see, I think, yeah. So our second leaf, I want to have it open all the way, right? So we're gonna just quickly adjust those things. So leaf 1 is actually gonna be 4 feet, as is leaf 2. But I want my custom open angle on my second leaf. Instead of 90 degrees, I want it to be 180 degrees. And that will now make it look just like it looks in the door. So I'm gonna go click OK down at the bottom, and now I'm matching, once again, the place that I had my door before, okay? So you will use the same process, working your way around all of the doors that you see visible around the interior theater space. Then you'll save this file, and this will be our last step on the prelim. So I'll have you go ahead and save and submit this Vectorworks file, and then we'll come back next week and draft in the seating sections and finish up this drawing conversion. So that's it for this week. And obviously, as always, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.